Lost Media.
Welcome to a once-in-a-lifetime experience like never before.
Presented by Lost Media.
A show filled with laughter, knowledge, and also transparency. It's a journey of diving into the unknown
And turning it into the known.
turning the uncomfortable into comfortable. I'm your host, Mr. Wowzer, and welcome.
Let the beat rock.
To the Dodi Connection.
Anyadam. Wagwan to your Bambaras Klats. I'm back with the second season of the Dodi Connection, aka TDOC. I am your host, Mr. Wowzer. We are back. Now, let me go ahead and go down the run line of my guest hosts, okay? I'm going to first start with a great person, woman, queen, the whole 30. She definitely made sure I was taken care of on the floor at March and Ash. Alexis, a.k.a. the Bud-Tending Mommy, how you doing?
What up? I'm good. How's everybody doing today?
We doing good. You know how we do. Now, my second guest host, the mother of love. You understand what I'm trying to say? You literally the mother of the universe, mother of love. I'm happy to introduce Queen Love. What's up, Queen?
Hey, how you doing?
We doing good.
I know that's right.
Hello, my last guest host. If you want to blaze, you better blaze the right way when it comes to Bree, blazing with Bree.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me here.
Hello, we all here. How you guys feeling though?
I feel great.
Good.
Great.
A little bit warm. I'm happy the sun's out.
Hello.
Yes.
And Alexis, happy birthday.
Yes.
Thank you. 36 years young. 36 years around the sun.
The main word was young. I hope you guys caught that, okay?
Thank you.
36 where though?
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, before I get into the song, I want to first give a huge shout out to Olas Media for their continued support and making sure that the Dodi Connection stays on the air for these listeners. Huge shout out to my new sponsor, Cannacraft. We're going to take it to the moon and back, and also Neptune. Hello, yes, Lord. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Coldfire for the first season and all his support and what he's done for what the Dodi Connection turned into from the first season. Thank you, Steve, a lot. I'm going to take it to one of my records from a new project coming out called I Thou Shall Wow. It's produced by one of Larry June's producers named Blade D. Triller. I'm actually proud of this with my guy, 33 Breeze. It's called La Playa. Let's go.
Wowzer.
Let the beat rock.
My eyes on the prize, no time for baloney. I summarize a lot of so phony. I'll terrorize if you think twice about creeping up on me. On the dead homie. No, I'm gonna keep it player. It's the only way that I know. Burn the clock, grab the bag, vominos, then I ghost. I execute on any task for the dead homies I toast. Baby, what it is, you wanna sit with a real one? Pop some bottles and peel one and get so high we don't feel none. Don't confuse me with a trick. You're not Glorilla. I'm the king of the villa, so no, I'm gonna keep it I'ma pop that. My scammer glitching up the codes, this a mob hack. These hollow cities putting in big holes through your top hat. Player shit. Girl, what you got in them jeans? I see you pack a lot. Baby got an app on loaner like a Macintosh. Break her back then bob, cause I got too much motion. Another bag I gotta grab. You know the locomotive. My eyes on the prize, no time for baloney. I summarize a lot of so phony. I'll terrorize if you think twice about creeping up on me. On the dead homie. No, I'm gonna keep it My eyes on the prize, no time for baloney. I summarize a lot of so phony. I'll terrorize if you think twice about creeping up on me. On the dead homie. No, I'm gonna keep it player.
All this ice on the chill guy. Gotta stack all this paper cause my bill's high. Baby don't wanna smoke cause she peel high. I got both feet on the ground but I'm still fly. I'm with gang so I'm finna roll this wood up. I don't bang but I'm finna throw my hood up. No time to hang, I'm in the stew, I'm finna cook it up. In and out before a nigga even looking up. I ain't moving if it ain't about the chili though. There's no cap, I can't ride with a silly. I'ma smack if she got ass then I'm finna go. I'm in the trap, we got packs and there's plenty more. In the night it always shine and ain't never slow. I'm off the pine feeling fine, now I'm finna roll.
My eyes on the prize, no time for baloney. I summarize a lot of so phony. I terrorize if you think twice about creeping up on me. On the dead homie. No, I'm gonna keep it My eyes on the prize, no time for baloney. I summarize a lot of so phony. I terrorize if you think twice twice about creeping up on me, on the dead homies. No, I'm gonna keep it peace.
I ain't moving if it ain't about the chili though. It's no cap, I can't ride with a silly. Don't confuse me with a trick. You're not global, no. I'm the king of the villa, so no.
I'm gonna keep it peace.
Hello. It's the cough drop. So you know what we do here? We talk about a few brands that are something that we recommend. Of course, that's going to get you high, leveled, and something nice and right. Now, we got to pay a few bills to these sponsors, of course. Huge shout out to ConnectCraft. But we'll be right back after this.
Cold fire extracts. It's amazing. The taste is great, clean and pure. It's loud like flour and it's super tasty. It has great effects and a long-lasting buzz. This is why Cold Fire is currently the #1 go-to vape in the cannabis space. Cold Fire Extract scored a high 95 from the highestcritic.com because of its standard of greatness in every category. Even compared to solventless, this is almost equalish, but it is definitely better than solventless. Now go ahead and light up that Cold Fire Extract, yeah?
This shit how you know. Their brand.
CannabisCraft's award-winning brand portfolio is the convergence of industry expertise, cutting-edge technology, and the belief that cannabis has the power to transform lives for the better. California's most robust brand portfolio offers hundreds of cannabis products masterfully crafted by leading cannabis researchers and scientists.
Their products.
Formulated in easy-to-use applications in a variety of doses and cannabinoid profiles, CannabisCraft's products are highly customizable to meet their customers' unique needs. Designed with diverse segments of cannabis users in mind, CannabisCraft's profiles ensures that whatever the cannabis need may be, CannabisCraft has a product to address it. CannabisCraft's products. Don't believe me? Just listen to what Forbes had to say about CannabisCraft.
This cannabis facility in Santa Rosa, California is the coolest tour you'll take all year.
CannabisCraft has products you can consume in so many ways. So many ways, so many ways.
Yes, Lord. Simping for anime. Now, before I give it the anime I'm going to recommend, the disclosure is because I love anime so much, and there's a lot of people on this earth that do now in these times, we're going to recommend some of the best animes all over for you to go ahead and check out. And if you've seen them already, check them out again. The first one I'm going to recommend is Persona 5 Royale. Huge shout out to my blood sister, Emilian, for recommending this to me. Ren is about to enter his second year after transferring to Shujin Academy in Tokyo. Following a particular incident, his persona awakes, and together with his friends, they form the persona, or the Phantom Thieves of Hearts, to reform the hearts of corrupt adults by stealing the source of their distorted desires. Now, the reason why I like this anime so much is because it touches on real life situations. It actually touches on the distorted desires. So lust, gluttony, selfishness, right? These are teenagers that's going inside adults' hearts and reconfiguring their desert. Like, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's dope.
What? I never seen nothing like that in my life.
That's amazing.
It was incredible, and my sister was like, you should play the game. I did, and I had a ball. I was on that game for a month and a half. It took me a while. I mean, in gaming, that takes a long time. Excuse me.
Like the kids, they go inside these adults and basically restore their souls.
Right, right. So,
man, if only that could be real.
If what?
Yeah.
Girl, look, it's so real. They end up going on the news and talking about their disorders. I raped this girl. I did this. I did that. I'm like, wow. So not exactly.
That's crazy.
Spring and chain. So go ahead and check that out. Now, if you're into fighting, the next one I'm gonna recommend is Baki. It's on Netflix. This one is incredible. The protagonist, Baki Hanma, trains with the intense focus to become strong enough to surpass his father, Yujiro Hanma, the strongest fighter in the world. 5 of the world's most violent and brutal death row inmates are gathering to face Baki, his son. Their objective is to taste their defeat. Their unmatched strength and skill have led them to grow bored of his life itself, and they now seek out Baki in hopes that he can overwhelm and utterly crush them. Now, all these guys have never been defeated, so all they care about is losing. So they need Baki to help them lose. And Baki gives them the business. If you guys want a little spoiler alert, he does. Okay. He actually gives the business. So that's one of my favorite Netflix animes. I can't wait to introduce you guys to my special guest. Let's go ahead and get into that right now. Let's go.
Wowza. I'm on go. Yeah, it's about that. I'm with special guests and we. You know right after that is by.
Oh, God.
Hey, you know that it's about that.
It's time for our special guest. Welcome back. Now, let me go ahead and introduce my special guest. We're just going to get to it. The reason why it's so monumental for me to interview this legend is because he's done something for us in the cannabis industry, a fight, a war that is unheard of. He was the first person to open a legal dispensary in Modesto, California, with all his cars and ducks in a row. Now, I'm going to let him tell the story of what happened with that. But just think about that. We're talking about early 2000s, 2002, 3, 4, 5, where that was outlawed out here. It was corner hustling. And he happened to open a legal dispensary. And if you don't know who I'm talking about the one and only Luke Scarmazzo.
Thank you.
My guy, how you doing today, fam?
Man, I'm doing great. Appreciate you having me, man, on the Dodi Connection.
Hello. And proud as it looks, shout out to you for fighting this fight with us, man. It's absolutely an honor to talk with you and see you in person, like, well, remotely, you know. Now, let me get to the meat of this, man. How was life growing up for you in Modesto, California?
First, I want to say happy birthday, Alexis.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's a special occasion for sure.
You.
36 zips.
Yeah, 36 zips. I'm gonna hold you to that.
So growing up in Modesto was like in the 80s, like cannabis was everywhere. Like the neighborhood that I grew up in, it was primarily like, a working class neighborhood. So, our neighbors grew weed. My aunts and uncles grew weed. My dad grew weed in the backyard. So, it was everywhere. It was like when I grew up, it wasn't a taboo thing. I didn't really realize it was a bad thing until like I started going into school, and then they start, the DARE program and all that wild stuff that happened in the 80s. But, growing up in Modesto was cool. Like we have, that culture, and it's diverse. Mexican American, Asian American. My neighborhood was like super fun. We would go out on bikes all day until this. I know this is super foreign to like the millennials right now, but we would go out on bikes all day until the streetlights came on and come back. And it didn't cost anything. So, yeah, it was a cool time though.
Did you come home when the street lights came on? No, be honest.
Nah, my mom always was out there looking for me. Yeah. But I always push the envelope. That's just my style, man. And I guess I was even doing it when I was younger.
Little rebel, for real, Queen. Now, could you walk us through the public perception of cannabis during your time in high school? man, all bad. So like, you know, there was still like the groups, right? Like the jocks and the stoners and like, you know, the this and that, right? With the labels on them and stuff. And, you know, I guess I was kind of in all of the groups at one time, I guess, because I played football, but like, you know, I was kind of like from like, you know, out the hood kind of, you know, so I'm with all my homies but I'm also like doing good in school, like grade wise when I'm there, you know, I have really bad attendance issues is my real problem with school. But yeah, no, it was like high school was
you were like the demon if you were like the kid that's either sold or smoked weed. And they came down hard on us. Like they would always try to like catch us doing something, or back then we're just smoking like regular like brick weed. It wasn't even like anything even special. But yeah, straight up some like brick Mexican weed. But sometimes it would come up good, sometimes it wouldn't. It was always hit and miss back then with the bricks.
It was.
But like I got kicked out of my first high school for smoking weed, and then I like really just plagued me for the rest of my high school years, like with football and like grades and stuff, like because weed would always be like the catalyst for them to do other things to you, right? Like, oh, we caught you smoking weed, so now we're gonna like suspend you, and when you get suspended, then you miss classes and you miss homework, and then like you're behind, so when you come to school now it's like F it anyway because I'm so behind. So it's just a cycle that ends up happening. So yeah, my high school was like in and out like that. And then when I was 15, I ended up going to juvenile hall. Me and one of my bros get in trouble, and while I'm in juvenile hall, I get my GED.
Okay.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. I was there and I was like, man, I might as well do it. We were just like, whatever. And I did it. And, but the bad part about it was then after that, like high school was kind of like a optional thing to me. So I would kind of like show up like lunchtime and try to kind of just find where the parties were at from that point.
Okay. So you more of a partier at school?
At that time I was, yeah.
Socialize more?
Yeah, for sure. I would definitely say that.
Well, since you grew up with it in the home, do you think that's made an impact on who you are today?
Oh, yeah. I never had a chance.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, I mean, it's all love. But yeah, like it was around so much. And really, I saw the benefit. I saw the benefit like really young, really, really young. Even with one of my high school girlfriends, like quick story, like she had surgery on one of her wisdom teeth. And it made one of her like eyes go in on her socket. Just the eye turned to where it was just all white, like a Method Man looking eye. It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it was super crazy. And none of the doctors could explain like what was wrong with it. They didn't know. And then we're driving back with her brother from like a wedding reception. And this is in like, 96. And we're smoking Mexican brick weed in a little glass pipe, you know what I mean? And she usually wouldn't smoke, but I got her to smoke. And when I got her to smoke, like we're driving and like 20 minutes later, she looks at me and she says something. And I noticed her eye went straight, man.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was mind-blowing to me.
Story. Wow.
It was mind-blowing. And like all these huge doctors of UC Davis and UCSF, like none of them could explain like why it did that or how they could get it like to go back right. And here we are like driving back on like the 101, smoking some weed, and it made her eye go back straight.
Just like that, instantly.
Message.
Wow. So tell me, like, do you remember the first moment you fell in love with cannabis?
Yeah. The second time I smoked.
Okay.
So what happened the first
time? Rewind.
Yeah.
Right. All right. So the first time I smoked, like I really didn't get high. Like I was like, I don't know if I was trying to like look for a certain feeling or something, or I really just didn't like, maybe, I don't know, I just didn't really smoke enough or something. I don't know, but it was me and my little bro, Edwin, we're waiting on the bus, and he comes out, like he lived in the apartments like down the street. So we're down like in the apartment complex, like parking lot, and we're kneeling down by the wall, and he breaks out like this rubber band full of joints. He has like 15 joints like rubber banded up, and he's going to bring them to school and sell them for $2 each.
Okay, hustling.
Okay.
Right. This is also my first kind of introduction into the commerce of weed too, actually. I guess.
Okay.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, 2 birds in 1 stone.
Right. So he was like, yo, let's smoke one before the bus gets here. So I'm like, all right, full, let's do it. So we fire up. Of course, we missed the bus. So we got to walk to school then, and we're late as shit. And I really I really didn't feel it. So when I get home, my older homie Han, he says, well, I tell him about what me and Edwin did, and he goes, man, and I tell him, like, I didn't really get high. I didn't really feel like I got high. And he goes, oh, wait, we're going to get you high now. So then he breaks out some weed, and they start rolling up on the kitchen table. And, man, I got blasted after that. Like to the moon.
Oh, so you probably had that good chronic.
Right.
Yeah, he had some fire.
Had that original before.
Yeah. So what was your experience like in that when you smoked that second joint? Like, how did it make you feel? What were your thoughts?
Good question.
Man, it was like, it took me to just a totally different level of awareness that I had never been to. Mm-hmm. To explain it, I guess, because it's really hard to explain unless you've experienced it. But to explain it, I guess it was like kind of being able to come like out of your problems of your life and everything and get like over them, like looking down upon them and like being, they're not gone. They're not like, but you get to see everything from a different angle kind of. Right. And that's what it was. It was like such an eye-opening and experience, and such a like almost scary experience too. Like, like I'm young at that time. So this type of awareness, like, can really have a shattering experience if you're not ready for that type of awakening. Right. You could really like go, oh, this was bad, and like I never want to do weed again.
Yeah.
So would you say it put a lot of things in perspective for you as far as your life goes, like after you smoked and you kind of had that moment?
Yeah. I mean, it was, I wouldn't say, like, again, I'm young at that time, so I didn't have it all figured out. If you would have asked me then, I would have totally told you, I had it all figured out at that point.
But it was cap.
But it was all cap.
I guess that's actually a good time for me to ask our next question is what exactly did influence your decision to open the first dispensary, CHC, up in Modesto?
We had just been growing at that point in time, it was 2004. We had been growing, and like we were like bombing out houses at that time. Like we didn't when I say growing, like people might get that confused with like the facility grows today and like, large warehouses. This was like us gutting out like 3-bedroom houses and like growing in the bedrooms and then like having a few of those houses. So it's not like we're not like doing balling out of control, but back at that time, pounds are in like the $4,000, like for really, really good weed, they're in like the $3,500 to $4,000 range, so you don't really have to grow a lot at that time to be profitable. So, we're growing at that time, and we're kind of like the first medical laws had passed in 96, but nobody really moved a lot. Nobody really busted a move at that point. Like everybody was still kind of real timid, especially in the Central Valley. Like Central Valley back then is like very conservative area. Is still conservative today, but really not like back then. They were very conservative. So, nobody really wanted to take the chance of opening a dispensary, even if they like saw the opportunity or saw the need. It was really a time when to put your neck out there in that sense was a really, really big risk for local authorities and like the larger, federal authorities. But to us, it was like, we were just waiting in the sideline. But then in 2000, like the end of 2003, a law passes, or excuse me, a court case comes down with a woman named Angel Rach, who fought a case against the DEA or the head of the DEA at the time. It was John Ashcroft or something like that way back then. But she wins the case and gets an injunction against the DEA that they can't do raids against anyone who's following the medical cannabis laws at the time. When that happens, we feel like, oh shit, like we got a little emboldened now, right? Now we got like protection a little bit now. So now our first idea was, well, let's just find a locality that's kind of a little bit more accepting than Modesto. So we went to Stockton first. Stockton's like, if you're familiar with the Valley, like Stockton's a little more grimy.
Oh,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Stockton's
I have
like
a huge family in Stockton. Shout out to Stockton one time.
Like, so we're like, yeah, we'll go over to Stockton, and they'll probably be cool with it. Yeah, and we had a lot of people in Stockton too. Some of our family and folks up there. So we go to a city council meeting in Stockton, and we walk in, and I think we got a half a sentence out about the dispensary, and the mayor was like, "Hell no!"
Like, not in these neck of the woods. Right.
Yeah, straight up. Like, and that's what it was like back then too. They're like, "Not in this city." And so we were like, all right, we're back to the drawing board. We go back to our lawyer at the time. We tell him what happens. He tells us, you don't have to get permission. You don't have to ask the city to open. You're a legal dispensary. You know, just make sure you get the right proper corporate documents and get your entity, form it as a nonprofit, and then make sure that you just get your license from the state and the city and do everything that you're supposed to do and open legitimately. So we do that. We just say, F it, we're going to do it in Modesto, and that's our hometown, and that's where we saw the biggest need, and we're just going to jump out there and do it, man. And we did.
That's what's up.
I'm sure business was booming. So how did that make you feel? Was it easy, the fast success, or would you say it hit you like a tower moment and it was hard to maintain at first?
Good question.
It was super gradual at the beginning, right? And then the newspaper, a journalist comes to our door and asks if they could come in and look around. And at that time, like if you didn't have a recommendation and a valid California ID, we couldn't even let you through the door, according to our policy and how we viewed the law at the time. Because we're trying to like self-regulate at that time, because there's not a blueprint to a dispensary back then. There wasn't clear laws, there wasn't clear regulations on it. So it was really like each dispensary tried to do it the best they could and self-regulate and really just be an example. So our policy, like you couldn't come in if you didn't have a valid recommendation or if you didn't have a valid California ID. So I tell the journalist that, and he was like, all right, well, are you selling, he says, I think he said pot.
Oh my God.
He's like, are you selling pot?
The disrespect.
Said,
right.
Right, man. Like, please, people, I hate that word. I don't hate it, but I dislike that word greatly.
Ugly.
You know what I mean? Because I just feel like it's, man, derogatory.
Right. Very derogatory.
He's trying to call you something.
Right. So I paused for a second in my head because I'm like, this is like I wasn't ready to come out and talk to the media about being a dispensary. Like we were still kind of trying to float under the radar, kind of, you know? So I paused, but I just go, yeah, we are. And he asked, can I look around? And I say, no, you can't come in. You have to have a valid recommendation. And so he kind of gets kind of upset and just leaves. And I don't think really really much of it at all. And the next day on the front page of the newspaper, the Modesto Bee, it says like, you know, marijuana shop in Modesto or something like that. And it's like big block letters. And I was like, oh no, like this is bad. Because again, like at that time, that didn't mean a good thing. That wasn't like good publicity that you wanted. So I was half expecting to drive to work that day and it to be full of cops, like our entire parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
But when I pulled up, it was full of cars. They weren't cop cars, and it was like full of people. There was literally hundreds of people at the door waiting to get in.
I know that's right.
And so I had to like park on the street. It was crazy. I like park on the street, walk through the people to get. Everybody like starts like walking with me as I'm coming in. I'm like, no, like this isn't like a Michael Jackson video or something. We all walk in together.
Thriller. They were thrilled for you.
I walk in and like my security lets me in, and then he locks the door behind me, and they're all like panicked. They're like, oh, what do we do? And I'm like, well, we have to get them in here. And so we like start processing people. And like to answer your question, from that point forward, it was really difficult then because we would constantly run out of supply. Like we would every night, Ricardo, who was my co-founder and later my co-defendant, he like he and I would literally scour the city, the entire valley, all the way to the bay and down like to Bakersfield, like almost nightly to just find the next day's product to be able to like fulfill like the demand of the store. And then we ended up getting our plug up in Mendocino, and then it was all good.
So it was a day-to-day type, moment-to-moment type operation at that time when you were younger.
For
That's
sure,
surprising.
man. Super stressful too, super difficult to maintain. We did maintain it, like hats off to the people around us and the crew that we had to be able to pull it off. But yeah, it was hard, man.
And then back then to just self-regulate, you know, there wasn't all those laws. So you're just you're like one of the like founding fathers of this stuff,
You really
like
are.
trying to figure out how we're going to do this.
When
So
you
I
put
can
you on
only
a dollar
imagine,
bill.
right? Like the pressure, I can only imagine you felt like trying to make sure that you did things in a way that didn't get you in trouble and you were able to go ahead and serve the customer as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for real. And
Well said.
we're young at the time too. We're all like 25 and 26. So it was, for us to have instant success and like instant spotlight on us was a difficult, like, balance to
Something hard to transition into.
Especially coming from the streets.
Yeah, come from nothing. Like we all came from nothing.
Right.
Duplexes and like, like I said, like just really working class families.
Yeah.
Which brings me to this, because the success, like you said, was big. You guys made about we're going to round it to 10 million you guys made 10 million in a year.
Don't do that, because then the feds, that's an automatic life sentence. If it went to 10 million, that was like the cutoff point. The 9.2 billion it went to 10, it went to automatic life. So the 9.2 kept us at 20 years.
9.99.
All right. No, but like, no, it was over. Like we could talk about it now. It's like that shit's all ran out now. But yeah, it was over that. Yeah, for sure. And it was crazy. It was like instantaneous.
That brings me to this. So did that inspire your infamous rap video that ignited law enforcement?
Good question.
Right.
Walk us through that.
So like from the outside, everybody thinks like, yo, he got money. He got money. And he made a bunch of rap videos and started saying F the feds and shit. Like that really wasn't, that's not how it worked. It was like, so backing up, like I really was in music like from a really, really young age. Like my mom was super musical. There was always like records playing in our house, the Doors, the Beatles, all the 70s rock stuff that my mom grew up on and stuff like that.
Okay.
So like I was in everything. I was like, I played instruments. I was in choir when I was a kid, so I started rapping really like when I was like 15. It was like 94, 95. Nice. It was like, this is, early rap. I'm listening to like Pac and, Scarface, like
back
NWA,
when hip hop was hip hop.
Right. Star and all that.
Yeah, right. So, my first tape that I can remember is a tape that was in my brother's. He had like an old Camaro. Was it MC Breed?
Oh, ain't no future when you're front. Yeah.
Shout out Breed, man.
Hello, rest in peace to the
Rest
guy
in peace,
too.
man. Yeah. But yeah, so like really what it was the dispensary and the success of the dispensary just enabled me to fund something that I had always wanted to like do anyway. Like we had always been working on music, but I never had a way to like professionally make music. Like we do it in our garages and in our closets and, stuff like that. But like now I was like, oh shit, like I could record professionally. I could go down to LA and have Brian Big Bass and Bernie Grunman do my mastering, and they did like everybody, 50, Eminem, so it was like, now I have an opportunity to really take my music to the next level. And that's really what it was. And it like shooting the music video for Businessman, like was our really first attempt at like a real, like putting together a big budget video and funding it ourselves and doing it ourselves.
That's amazing.
So when was the moment when you said, you know what, I'm about to put this on the camera? Fuck the feds, middle fingers up.
Yeah,
right.
Which made them target you and put a square on your back like Jack Dorsey.
Right.
Well said.
It was really like the when I wrote the song, like you got like I'm 25, we're like in medical cannabis, and really what it was like it was saying like back off, like let us do what the state law allows us to do. Now, like that's the street 25-year-old way of saying that.
Right.
I can articulate that a little better now. But yeah, and that was just like the activist in me, and that activist has not ever died or anything. That activist is still alive and well. But again, like now I know how to use the tools that are in front of me now. And before I was just kind of, rash and going a little wild with it. And then we got some money and I went a little bit, wilder with it.
As you should.
Wilding.
Yeah, he was
Profiling.
It makes sense. You're 25. You done made $9 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's do. And I'm taking my music to the next level. Man, fuck the feds. Like, man, I'm out here.
I mean, shit. It was really if everybody, if some, nah.
You stupid. Yeah, right. We on air, huh?
With the initial first contact with law enforcement and everything, what was that experience? What was going through your mind when they first contacted you or reached out?
So, like, we never got like a warning or something like, hey, y'all shut down or we're going to do this, like a cease and desist type letter or situation. That it wasn't really like that. So what they did was, there's a name for it there's a name for it in the law. I can't remember what it is, but basically what they do is they use locals to do like controlled stops around town on like various dumb stuff, like, oh, your registration was out. If your registration really isn't out. Oh, your lights were off.
Wow.
Or something. Or maybe you really do, like you don't put your turning signal on when you switch lanes or something, and then they'll blurp you. And it's just a way for them to kind of like check the temperature. See what you got in the car, see how you guys react, see who's in the car with you. Those type of things. It's to help the feds build their case. Right. Because the feds need by the time the feds walk in, it's usually already buttoned up, or else they don't walk in.
Right.
So this is a lesson to any of the listeners. If the feds walk in on you, they got a case already.
Yeah.
They're not asking.
They've been building.
They've been building.
Right.
They pretend they're asking, but they're not asking.
No,
Right. They already know
Right.
what's up.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
they
then,
do.
could you walk us through how you crossed paths with Weldon Angelos?
Oh yeah, man. That's my dog, man. Shout out to Weldon Angelos. I'm in Lompoc this is in 2011. So I'm with Weldon, or Weldon's at the prison there, but I have a mutual friend. His name is Marico LaFlora. He lives down in LA. He was a young Crip that got mixed up in some bank robberies and stuff real young when they were doing like all those really crazy takeover styles back in like the early 2000s and stuff like that. And it sucked because he was just like a kid that was a lookout and ended up getting a long time behind it. But he was our mutual friend, and he says, hey, I know another guy who got a real long time for weed. You guys should link up. And the minute Weldon and I link up, we actually link up in the law library one day. He says, we talk about our case, and I had 22 years for cannabis charges. He had 55 years, which
That's crazy.
was the first time I had met somebody with a longer sentence than mine for weed.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then,
well, it was because he's a Crip. They give you 10 more years when you're a gangbanger. So all kinds of crazy enhancements. Right. Later, I ended up meeting people with life sentences, like the homie Corvain when I was over in USP Pollock. Corvain Cooper, shout out Corvain from 40 Tons. But yeah, so I met Weldon there, and we automatically hit it off because Weldon was already in the lane of trying to get out, like filing paperwork, talking about clemency with presidents. Nobody was ever talking about clemency and presidents back then. This was he was really cutting edge on this. So
we ended up doing a lot of time together, Weldon and I. We did from really 2012, and then I got transferred to another prison, and he got transferred right behind me to the same prison, and then we ended up doing the whole time together until I saw him walk out on his last day.
Oh, wow.
This actually, I was curious about. During your time that you were locked up, did you start to wonder if your arrest was more personal, practical? I mean, I kind of feel like, just from the sounds of it, a little bit personal.
Absolutely.
Definitely was personal.
Not being a fan alone or nothing, but
because he fought hard to get out, and they said no. They let everybody else around.
That's what I would say.
A monumental movement, low key, So
Facts.
So personal or practical?
I would say at the beginning, it was practical in the sense of they thought if they hammered a few like early dispensary operators and pioneers, that they would kind of scare, to the credit of the rest of the industry, they thought they would scare them into like not doing this anymore. And everybody didn't listen. Everybody wasn't scared, and they still opened more dispensaries. And, shout out to all the legacy operators that continued to do that, even with the threat, and seeing like people like us go down and get that amount of time to still open your doors and do that is just a testament to what this plant does and this industry is all about.
Absolutely.
But like after that part, it was definitely personal. Like the reason, like how they kept us in there, because you didn't have to leave us in there for 15 years. Or Ricardo got out by Obama in 2017. So Ricardo served almost 10 years and then got clemency from Obama. So I mean, Obama did his thing.
Shout out Obama.
Shout out Obama. He did his thing, man. And he let a lot of people out. Like Obama, now like it's a big thing. Oh, we do clemency, and it's like a political posturing now. But back then, like when Obama he started what was called the Clemency Project 2014. No president had ever done anything like that. So that was a huge thing.
Big deal.
And he lets Ricardo out, but mine gets denied. And they don't tell you why it gets denied, but everybody could speculate. Like there could be a million different reasons, but I would think that it was because of my activism, my outspokenness, and it really was like throughout the rest of the time I wasn't like remorseful about why I was there, and that kind of pissed some people off in some powerful positions because I felt like what I was doing was right and it was just. And I was helping the community, and I knew it. I saw it. Like I saw it firsthand. I was on the front line of where all this was going on, and we saw the impact that it had on the community and with the patient base and customer base that came in. So, like I never felt like I did anything wrong, and they wanted me to say that you did. Like I'm sorry for this. I was hurting the community. This, and this, and I just wouldn't do it. So
yeah.
I feel like
they're always going to try to quiet a natural born leader, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
They're always going to try to.
You were definitely, doing your thing out there.
Yeah.
And if
Thank you.
My own personal, just evaluation of everything, I definitely feel like it was personal.
That's the same one
I definitely feel like they made you an example.
Exactly.
And they tried to have people scared and cower down, and you've powered through it. And like I said, you're one of the head honchos out here doing this. So like we commend you for, just pushing and like handling business and standing on 10 toes about what you believe in, because look at us now.
Yeah.
Like here we are now. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It really
is amazing. And that's like one of the best parts of it is just like to come out to all the love and like, the industry has just really embraced us and me and Ricardo and our brand Profit, and it's just been like it's been a really awesome experience.
About your book, like, did you enjoy the process and time it took to craft it and put it all together? Like, tell us about that.
Did you just throw your
the putting it
journal
together, no. I had to. It was a disciplined experience. I had to trade food to get paper to write my book.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
What?
Wowza.
That's wild.
Yeah.
He was out there in the trenches for real when you was inside, huh? Dang.
Get in where you fit in.
But,
so, like, I wrote it while I was in solitary confinement.
Okay.
And in solitary, they only give you 4 pieces of paper and 2 envelopes every week. And that's just really to write letters to home to ask for money and shit, really.
Yeah.
So like I had the idea to write the book. I wanted to do it for a long time, but I just like, I never sat my ass down and just did it. You know what I'm saying? So at this point I do. And I'm in the shoe. I run out of reading material. So I say, oh, I'm going to start my book. And then I get all excited and I write the 4 pages. And then I'm like, oh, shit, I ain't got no more paper.
I need more paper. What am I doing?
Yeah, like I can't wait a week again. And like that's not very motivating. Like, and that'll take forever. 4 pages every week. So I have to make a deal with the orderly who like passes out laundry and trays and like supplies and stuff sometimes, that I'll trade him a lunch tray and a dinner tray if he can get me more writing paper and some of those little flex pens that they give you.
Right.
Like when you're locked up.
So you was in there starving yourself, huh?
Yeah, I mean, listen, and food is like gold in solitary, man.
No cap. No cap. No cap. Yeah, it is.
But you know, I guess I could have used it.
Now, before I bring us to, for you to tell the listeners about Prophet, I'm going to have Bree take that. If you guys do want to get the Luke Scarmazzo story, High Price, it is on Kindle where you can read if you got a subscription. Also on Amazon for $24.99. Don't forget to go grab that. It's called The High Price, the Luke Scarmazzo story. Hello.
If you could go back to your 15-year-old self, like what would you tell him?
Excellent.
Keep showing up.
Amen.
Wow, that's really good.
Absolutely, I love that.
That's good.
Now, before I have Alexis ask the last question, could you please tell my listeners about Prophet? Coming to March and Ash on our shelves. Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Lord.
Man, I'm so excited about this because this is our our launch into San Diego with Prophet, or our launch into SoCal, really. Because I wanted to do it's special to me to launch in San Diego because I went to school in San Diego.
Where?
I played football at Mesa. Shout out Coach Moss.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah, straight up.
Be stranger.
Yeah.
Had a bunch of homies. I still got a bunch of homies from all over the place, all over the city. So yeah, I got a lot of love for Dago. I love it down there. I love and I got so many people in the community that just have known me for so long and saw me in those listen, and I was a young college broke kid, but I had so much fun in San Diego, Mission Beach on the weekends, Ocean Beach, bonfires, man, it was so cool. They probably don't let you do that of that stuff anymore.
Only if you're broke. Only if you're broke. Right. If you got money, it's a little stressful. You right.
I live by the beach, Luke. So whenever you're ready to come back out to Dago, let me know. All right?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Bonfires, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, now you're talking my language.
Hey.
But yeah, so we're really excited to come down there and for our first launch to be with an awesome legacy partner like March and Ash, and the product that we're bringing down is so special. It is the best of the best of the best. We go through such pains to make sure the highest quality and best experience is delivered with our brand Prophet. So it's just I don't really like to talk about it that much. I like to show it really. Yeah. So it's it's hard to but I can't wait to come down there and really just hang out with you guys and vibe and show you guys the flower and show you the awesome vapes that we have and all the live resins and live rosins. And yeah, it's going to be really awesome. And the vibe down there is going to be all love and all family, and we really look forward to it.
All good energy, all good energy.
And with March and Ash as an engine in SoCal, it's going to do amazingly well. It's going to do amazingly.
We already know.
Right.
So Luke, what's next? What's next on the list? What's next in your life right now? What's coming up next?
So we just launched the podcast Joint Forces.
Okay.
We're on next week, episode 4 airs with my bro Burner from Cookies.
Oh, yeah, okay. And actually, he's performing at the Farmers Cup out here, right, next month?
Yeah, he is.
Huge shout out to Burner.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, shout out Big Burn, man. Another legacy operator that has went through all the hurdles and craziness of this industry.
He's expecting too, no? Or did he just have a baby?
Yeah, he absolutely. Yes, he is.
He just
He's on
with his daughter, and then he just had a new little baby, a little bouncing baby, bundle of joy. So congrats, Burner. Congrats, Burner.
Shout out to Wiz Khalifa.
Congrats, man. And he's really like shifted into the family man role a lot and embraced it. And it's really cool to see. It's really
good.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a nice transition in life.
It really is.
So yeah, we have Joint Forces. You can check that out on YouTube. The book is being made into a movie by a company called Filmopolis.
Okay.
Good job,
Hey, don't sleep on
So
Luke.
I'm excited about it, but it's weird too, kind of. Like,
bro, stop. I've seen your advertisements on Instagram. You're a natural. You're a natural.
But I mean, it's weird, like, because the movie people, they write their own script, and it's not exactly like how things went in the book, right? They always Hollywood it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And so while I'm reading the script, it's different now. It's like me watching myself. It's just a weird, I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's just a personal thing.
It is going to be somewhat of somebody's interpretation of you, but
right, exactly.
Hopefully it'll be, an impressive interpretation nonetheless, which you're an impressive person. So let's give it up one more time for Luke.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So you can join us for our topic segment, right? We got a topic segment that we do on my show before we end it out.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about something crazy. Could you join us for that?
For sure.
Hey, all
Good job, you guys.
right.
You guys did amazing. Let's take it to our topic segment. Let's go.
Most valuable tool you have is your mouth. If your rap is strong, it can't go wrong.
Yeah, but what if your rap is strong and the shit still go wrong?
But that's not possible.
Topics and solutions.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Mr. Wowzer with Alexis, Queen Love, and Blazing with Bree. Let's go. For this topic segment, Luke, we're going to talk about something powerful for Black History Month. We're talking about Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. And I'm going to be quick because time's running out.
Phenomenal. We'll try to be quick.
Man, that's a tough one to be quick on.
I know. Right. So much to say.
So much.
It is. But we're going to get it all out. So I'll be quick. More viewers tuned in to watch Kendrick Lamar's performance, which was 133.5 million people, than any other Super Bowl halftime show. And they witnessed a rousing concert by a 22-time Grammy-winning, Pulitzer-winning artist. We talking about Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, that was impressive when I saw that.
Right?
K-Dot.
But there was much more. So he provided a layered spectacle of cultural and political illusions, encoded and percolating through propulsive rap, 13 minutes of profound protest art that compelled all of us to shout gleefully at our TVs in response to the audacity that we were witnessing. Like, wow, in front of Trump? Good job.
Right.
Good job.
In the audience.
Right. So with the multifaceted symbolism unspooling before us, I felt compelled to break it down with all of us today. Now, the songs he performed was from GMX. It was Squabble Up, Humble, from a few albums, Damn and all that, but most of them GMX. DNA, Euphoria, Man at the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther, All the Stars, Not Like Us, TV Off. The special guest was SZA, Samuel Jackson, and Serena Williams. Now, before I get to the message, I would love to hear you guys' opinions.
Yes, I'm sorry, baby. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
Birthday
you got
girl.
it. Go ahead, birthday mama.
I was so impressed with like Samuel Jackson's his suit. Like I guess it went back into like, I think there was only like 13 or 16 stars. Like I guess like during a specific time there was like a purpose that he did it, and you guys might know a little bit more than me about it, but he wore that suit for a reason, to like make a statement, to go into like all of the statement that Kendrick was trying to make too, down to like the attire, down to like the aesthetics. Mm-hmm. It was all well thought out and everything, and meant to make an impact, you know?
Yes, absolutely.
And it did. I mean, for me, it did.
Oh, I feel like for all of America, it did. Can we just, for me, can we just start where he said, You picked the wrong guy, right time.
Right. He sure did say that.
And the revolution will be televised.
Yes.
Let's not even play.
Now let's look now.
Like the fact that you use your platform to be like, oh, you got the right one today.
Hello.
And let me go ahead and tell you, we're not finna stand for this. Is what I love so much about it. And the fact that he is trying to unite all minorities to team up together and come together to fight for our right in every aspect, because, you know, we've been down long enough. And he, you know, basically for me, the message was, you know, look, this is what we've been doing, and it's time. The game is over. It's time to switch up, change up, and do something different. We must unite in order to get our demands met. But we have to do it in the right way. We have to play the game how they want us to play the game. But at the same time, we're not gonna let go of who we are. We're not gonna let go of who we are. This is us.
Exactly.
They not like us. They not like us. Okay. Like he stood on business, and it was a very beautiful performance.
I love that the way that you said that though too. It's like we can play the game by your rules, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna win.
Ever.
There you go. Yeah. And you can just tell he was going to make a statement, because even the opening song, opening up with an unreleased track, like he could have performed all his hits, you know, but he was making a statement. He wanted people to be quiet. He wanted you to shut up and listen.
Absolutely.
And I feel like a lot of people miss that. They're like, why didn't he perform his hits? He doesn't have enough hits. I'm like, you're missing the message. You still miss it.
Go ahead.
Like using that platform, it's just like that was the time. You already know his hits. You go to the concert if you want to see him perform.
You hear it in the bars, clubs, radio.
Like pay attention.
Right.
Thank you.
I really feel like he used that platform to speak for all of us.
Yes.
Like we're tired. We're tired when it comes to everything. Like, and we need to unite, and we need to start trying to do things in a better way than to just get upset and get mad and rah. You know, we have to be strategic this time.
Exactly.
Because we're all one people.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
We're all one people.
I get it.
Yep.
Good job, you guys. Really good job.
I like that.
Because you guys weighed in heavy.
I got my solo brewing.
Kendrick just bringing the people together.
Solo brewing.
Scarmazzo, how you feel?
Man, like to me, I get it from so many different angles. Like I everything that he did, it was like strategically planned out and had a message in it. That's so dope to be able to intertwine that into entertainment. Like people don't understand how hard that is to make something so entertaining yet still have such a powerful message. That's a gift that people have, like, and not everybody has that gift. So that was amazing to me. The West Coast in me loved that it came back to Compton to the West Coast to you know, that whole that was huge. Like I was like, man, this is a super win for the West Coast. So that's the selfish part of me. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? That I really loved that. Serena sitting up there, walking on the stage. That was so hard right there.
Yeah, that.
And everything that represented. But just what it did for the amount of courage it took as an artist to do what Kendrick did in front of the world. There was all the lawsuit talk, don't do this song or you'll get sued and your brand and all this, and it'll cost everybody all this money. And he did it anyway. And he went out there and he said, you know what, this is so powerful. This is more important than 40 acres and a mule. This is more important than anything, he said.
There's a reason they don't want me to do it. There's a reason they don't want me to do it.
Right.
And I think that should never be forgotten. What he did as a leader right there solidifies him to me in the hall of hip hop fame and the hall of really just activism and leadership of world figures.
Right.
I don't even want to say just a hip hop guy, or just a rapper, just an artist, because it's so much bigger than that.
Very monumental.
I got a Tupac shirt. You know, Tupac is my number one. But for me to hold him in the same class as Tupac, you can't hold a lot of other artists in that same class.
Yeah.
He's right there with Pac.
Yep.
On my top one list.
He gives Pac love in most of his tracks.
Oh, big time.
He's in the essence of Pac, right? Because Pac in Oakland with the Black Panthers and his mom and Afeni and all everything that Pac experienced shaped him as an artist and an activist. And that's in that same ilk.
Absolutely. And all the activism that was going on. Shout outs to the dancer.
Oh,
who had the flag for Sudan.
That ran around the field.
The dance, just all the freedom that the performance was crying for, that it ached for. It was beautiful. And it's just like, especially with this presidency, it's just like, you're not finna shut us down. Like we finna put our foot on your necks.
And we're going to dance and sing and celebrate.
Okay, and we're going to do it the right way this time.
Exactly.
And how about the breath control?
Talk about that.
As an artist.
He was going crazy.
He did that.
My golly.
All in some flare jeans.
Okay.
What?
Fly. He did that.
Yes.
His bell bottoms. I got
Look.
bell bottoms.
You know what? And that's what the Black Panthers wore in the 70s to protesters. He did a good job. He did a good job.
Well thought out. Definitely. Yeah, it was great.
So to conclude this, the messages, I could go through all of them, but since time is running out, it addressed themes of governmental control, racial inequality, and the struggles for progress in America. So to conclude it, this is from PG Lane co-founder Dave Free. It wasn't about playing the hits. The feel of it is Black America. What does Black America look like, and how to control the narrative of what it means to be Black in America versus what the world's perspective of that is. Me speaking as a Jamaican Panamanian man, I'm going to strongly say that I fully agree with that. I do have a complexion of me where people, I walk up to them and they can already make their decision on me before getting to know me, unfortunately. And for somebody to actually address that in 2025 at a stage like the Super Bowl and show how relevant racism is still to this day, it blew me back. It gave me goosebumps. I teared up because you can only talk about it for so long as a solo person. But when you see it on a main stage like that, you understand, like, okay, so it is real like that. And there's not a lot of people that can relate to me because of that alone and the way the system is built to go against that alone. I can only say it so many ways because I'm a host, but it was very moving to me, and I'm thankful for somebody like that in these times. So thank you, Kendrick, for a phenomenal performance. You're teaching everybody it's not about entertainment, it's about messages. And as soon as you wake up and make inequality or equality for everybody, something's going to shift and change. Even if they decide to do civil war against us, we understand that it's civil war against them and us, not us against each other.
Right, absolutely.
Hey, that's for my political way of saying it as a whole.
That was great.
Yeah, Scarmazzo, I want to thank you so much for your time with us at the Dodi Connection. I really wish it could have been longer, but you said a lot with a little, so thank you. And girls, thank you, of course. You guys did phenomenal.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, man. I
Luke.
appreciate you having me.
We're speaking about monumental people today, I guess.
Right. One of the founders.
Yes.
And
We
listeners,
love
remember
Bree,
this.
Alexis, Wiser. Appreciate you, man.
Always.
Appreciate you, everybody.
Good to
Dodi
talk to you
Connection.
again.
Shout
Good to
out
talk
March
to
and
you.
Nash, John, everybody over there, man. Love the team, man. I'm so excited about coming down and vibing and hanging out, man.
Right. And remember this, listeners, just because somebody doesn't understand your fire doesn't mean you need to contain your flame.
Ooh.
The Dodi Connection. We are
Wow, well said.
Yes.
Woo!
Favorite meal whipped in the kitchen, let's Netflix and get high. You feel me?
Thanks for listening to the Dodi Connection. Be sure to follow and subscribe whenever you listen to your podcasts. To read the blog associated with this episode, visit olismedia.com. This episode was produced in studios located in San Diego, California. Lena Alvarez is co-producer. Serving as executive producer and co-founder is JC Polk, and Chad Peace is president and co-founder. Olas Media is an IVC media company.
Olas Media.